Hello, welcome to the Happy Families podcast, where you get real parenting solutions every single day. Today, what would it be like? How would you feel if your children and you were living mindfully, thinking flexibly, being able to feel recharged and vital in your body, living your life on purpose, and feeling like your connections were growing strong? Those 5 elements underpin the Smiling Mind mental fitness model. And today we're going to have a catch up with Sarah Roche. Sarah is the CEO of Smiling Mind. We're going to talk about the app that you can get for free and how it can build resilience and well-being and thriving and flourishing in your kids at home, where you can do the early intervention stuff before things get too bad. We know we've got some mental health challenges, unprecedented for our young people, and this may be an answer that your family could benefit from. Stay with us. More on that next. Hello and welcome to the Happy Families podcast, where you get real parenting solutions every single day. This is Australia's most downloaded parenting podcast. My name's Dr. Justin Coulson. I'm so delighted today to be joined by Sarah Roche. Sarah runs Smiling Mind. If you're not familiar with Smiling Mind, and I think it's kind of like almost a household name, so you probably might be, it's Australia's leading mental wellbeing app. And Sarah brings a really delightful combination to the role: decades of experience scaling world-class organisations and a very personal stake in this mission. She's a mum to 5-year-old twin boys. So she's not just leading the charge on mental fitness, she's actually living it. Sarah, the mental health challenges that we face in this country are pretty significant for our young people over the last 15 years or so, partly driven, although not solely driven, by the endemic presence of screens and social media. They're not the only drivers of this, though, particularly in the 5 to 12 age group. But we're seeing more and more challenges when it comes to mental health. I'd love to know from you, when you do this research, when you build apps like Smiling Mind, when you're talking with practitioners and therapists and parents and everyone else that you work with on a day-to-day basis, what do you see in this specific 5 to 12 age group as the main drivers of mental ill health?
I think this is an audience group that people don't necessarily broadly, and certainly our decision makers, our policy makers, think about from a mental health perspective. But it is, as you would know, a crucial developmental time. 50% of mental illness has its onset by age 14, and that is a huge determinant for long-term mental health challenges later in life. And we also know that preventive approaches can have a huge impact on that number. So when we're thinking about what's happening for children, and we also know that well-being declines with age, and it's a lot younger than people would think. It's things like self-esteem and confidence, friendship and peer interactions that parents tell us are the top triggers or drivers for their concerns around their child's mental health and well-being. Bullying, focus issues, behavioural issues, things like that. Excessive screen time is a concern for parents, and it's certainly something that we are very aware of and cognizant of, particularly being a technology-led organisation. I think there's absolutely validity in parents being concerned about screen time and excessive use of technology, particularly when it's unmanaged or unsupported through them as a caretaker, a caregiver, sorry. But ultimately, all screen time is not created equal. And there's a lot of evidence, and we can see from our programs, efficacy and impact on wellbeing, that using technology as a medium to build skills and capabilities is actually key to unlocking this mental health crisis that you talked about.
So, Sarah, there's so many different things we could talk about. We obviously have limited time. Yeah. I'm really interested in talking about the mental fitness model that you've got, helping kids to act purposefully, live mindfully, recharge their bodies so they feel vital and strong, grow those relationships you've highlighted in this age group, particularly relationships that are very much at the core of their well-being and self-esteem challenges, and particularly be flexible in their thinking. Those things are all valuable, but in the limited time that we have today, my sense is the best thing that we can talk about is the Smiling Mind app. So a lot of parents won't have heard of it. It's a free app, and it's I think a great resource. It's something that's really useful for parents to get their head around and even to involve their kids with. You've just talked about how technology can be a positive in kids' lives. Tell us a bit about the app, how it works, what it's designed for, and how it can work in preventing, literally act as a protection for kids when it comes to resilience.
Yes. So Smiling Mind was founded through the idea that we could better support millions of people if we were able to combine the best evidence-based literature and an understanding around mental health interventions and strategies with technology. And when Smiling Mind launched in 2013, we were very much a pioneer in this space. There was a lot of work that needed to be done by our founders to get the sector on board behind this. And I think the fact that we've just celebrated 10 million downloads of our app this month shows that this approach meets parents and children where they're at. I think we are exceptionally good at translating evidence into engaging experiences that work. Many parents come to use the app or even find out about it through referrals from practitioners or clinicians as a supporting mechanism for issues that might have already started to emerge.
Yeah, but you don't actually have to have a mentally ill child to use the app.
Absolutely not.
It's better if your child is mentally healthy and you start using it, because that's the prevention piece, right? As opposed to the let's throw the rope down and try and drag them out of the well that they've fallen into.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's our vision, is to help every parent realize that this is a tool that you can use every day proactively. You don't have to wait for your child or you to start feeling not great. And so the app has always been free. It will always be free. And there's 700 pieces of evidence-based content in there. So people can search by skills and capabilities they want to build. They can search by challenges that they might be having around friendships or sleep, for example. And what the intention of the app is to be as accessible as possible and to enable people to build these skills and then translate those into real world experiences.
After the break, we're going to unpack these mental fitness elements, living mindfully and embracing flexible thinking and growing connections and so on, and talk about specific things that parents can do with or without the app to build flourishing kids. Stay with us, that's next. We're back. It's the Happy Families podcast. Sarah Roche is the CEO of Smiling Mind. 10 million downloads on the app. That's an enormous accomplishment. Like, when you said that, I knew that it was popular. I knew people used the app, but 10 million is a lot. That's a really significant thing. Sarah, let's talk about these elements that you have in the Smiling Mind app, these skills for building well-being. Let's go through all 5 of them just briefly, and we'll talk about a practical thing that the app would teach a parent to do with their child so that they can develop that skill. Live mindfully. Let's talk about, like, because kids, in some ways they're really present. The moment is all that matters to them. But in other ways, they kind of miss everything because they're so focused on what they're doing, right? So what would you say live mindfully is really about for 5 to 12-year-olds?
Yeah, I think mindfulness, I think we see as a foundational component of this model. It really is a skill that supports kids and adults to focus, build awareness, and cultivate an attitude of curiosity and non-judgment. But I think in practical language, it's essentially about helping kids focus on what they're doing right now and in a way to manage emotions. So we start to be able to be in the present, not worrying about the future so much, not worrying about the past, but really thinking about what is now. And that is a really important skill for foundational mental health and wellbeing. So things that parents could be doing is integrating a mindful moment in their day. That includes even just stopping and taking a deep breath before doing something. And I find when we're running out the door and things are getting crazy, we do a breath. I also do the starfish practice with my children. So taking a deep breath in, moving your fingers along, they move their fingers along their hands, up and down each finger while they breathe in and out deeply. That's like an awesome way to just pause and reset. So mindfulness is our foundation, our history as Smiling Mind, and we built out from mindfulness to incorporate these other evolving, emerging areas of practice, like you mentioned, critical and flexible thinking. Belonging is crucial, as we know. So let's talk about flexible thinking. So that really supports people to look at things from different perspectives, consider other people's experiences and frames of reference, and support a mindset that's open to learning new things. So the power of yet is a really awesome, I guess, concept to incorporate into how you're talking to your children about challenges that they encounter. Another way to embed thoughts around flexible thinking is when they ask them questions like, what do you think the other person was thinking or feeling when they said or did that thing, helping them understand it from somebody else's point of view. Or what are you thinking and feeling when they're going through a strong or challenging emotion? And the app has a whole range of different types of activities in it that, whether it's flip cards or little videos, whatever it might be, to help them reinforce these concepts and to be able to practice them in real life. One of the other pillars is around growing connections. It's actually about deepening and strengthening connections. You know, as human beings, we're social creatures. The quality of our relationships is one of the most important determining factors in the quality of our life. So really, we're helping children to build skills around empathy and kindness, compassion and positive communication. One of the other pillars is purpose and belonging. So at a developmentally appropriate level, what are the values that are underpinning how you want to interact in the world? And then the final one is an acknowledgement around the connection between mental and physical health, and that is recharging your body. Obviously, a lot of people struggle with sleep. A lot of parents use some of our sleep content at night to help support their children drift off and relax before bed. But there's also a lot of content in there around movement and rest and recovery.
I was just thinking as well, while you're saying that, I just love the name, Smiling Mind. Like, wouldn't it be great if our minds smiled all the time, or at least more of the time? The other thing that stands out to me, and we do need to wrap this up here, but when parents are working with their children on these skills, parents are going to be the ones who benefit as well. Like, parents will learn the skills of flexible thinking and relationship building and vitality and acting with purpose. It works for the family. It works for the kids. It's such a great app. And it's been a delight to talk with you. Sarah, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks so much, Justin.
Sarah Roche is the CEO of Smiling Mind, Australia's leading mental wellbeing app. You can download it free. Great conversation. Hopefully the app will be useful in your home, in your pocket, and in your kids' lives. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. We receive additional admin support from Mim Hammonds. If you'd like more info to make your family happier, visit happyfamilies.com.au. Also in the show notes, we'll link to everything you need to know about Smiling Mind, including the app and their webpage.